right now, but we've actually found a little white bass, striper, a little action with those on the crankbaits. And all I have here is just a regular DT6, just in a little blue color. I mean, that's what you get a lot of smallies on. But we're hooking up these stripers, and all we're doing is on our sonar, we're about 5 feet of water, and the weeds come up to about 6, and it's a DT6, so you can just feel it bouncing through the weeds. And they're hitting it. I mean, they're literally engulfing the bait. What I'm gonna do is show you actually. Grab it out. If I can grab it. Nope, definitely can't grab it. A lot of water in there. But I mean, what we've been doing is literally, we'll show you, casting it out there because we're right on the edge of the weed line. Because if we get 5 more feet closer to shore, we're gonna be doing some crankbaits. Big, you might grab the swing of the boat. It's a dumb thing to do. I'm gonna do it. What we have here is big white bass. Basically, all that's good to eat on these is the back strap. But, you know what the heck, you know, the back strap is still good enough for a big fish like this, and it's fun catching a fish on a crankbait. So, with crankbaits, you want to be really careful when you're getting the hook out. They have 6 hooks, 6 treble hooks. And I've seen professional fishermen hook themselves with getting the hook out. But yeah, that's what we have. Big striper. I just reeled it in. Had 3 fish that were just as big as the ones we've been catching right at the boat. I looked up at it, saw the boat, and swam away. Give me 5 casts, and I bet you I kept one. It just came up and it was too late. Cast it back and caught one of the little ones that I didn't see. Not one. I'll get one there. For whatever reason, stacked up in this area. I don't know why. They are. There's 2 of number 2 casts. One thing you always want to pay attention with your crankbaits is make sure they're clean, no weeds on them. Make sure all the hooks are showing. Had old school follow my bait right up to the boat. I'll get one, give them a little action here. Stack. Like that, when you're cranking, and you're in 5 feet of water, you're using a 6-foot diver. My last cast, I have to get one on here. Bouncing off the weeds. Nothing. Huh. That's surprising. I wonder what happened in there. I mean, casting all around. The thing with crankbaits, see when that just happened? I didn't pay attention to my line, and I was just wrapped around one of the hooks. And it's basically wasted a cast. Don't want to swing fish. You've got a strong line. I'm using frickin' big caster reel, so I've got 10-pound test on here that's strong enough to swing him. Not great, but he's hooked good enough. Yeah, another. Looking at the sonar here, you can see the lines. What those are fish right below us. And the cast on the boat really just towards the boat. Let's see what happens here. First time I've ever caught a bunch of white bass. I came in here actually looking for walleye or smallies or large, whatever. Started getting the white bass, but what the heck, might as well make use of them. There we go. Sean. This guy's bending the pole. Tip of the pole, resurfacing. There we go. I'm gonna flip him in. It's not hooked very well, but we'll get him. Land him right on the deck. And there we go again, one more fish. You can see, only got 2 little hooks in them. That's kind of, if I was fishing a bass tournament and I only seen that he was hooked with maybe 1 or 2, the net would have came out, but it's alright because these fish are just whatever. So I mean, there you go. There's one more. We'll measure it for you. You can look over here on the tape measure. You know, your average 13, 14 inch fish there. You know, 14. I mean, those are what you do. You fillet these, and all you do is you get the back strap on them. You know, you don't get any of the rib meat. The rib meat's not good on these, but you can get the back strap, and people will fill up buckets with these in the winter. So catching them on crankbaits sure is fun. You know, it beats a slow day of bass fishing or a slow day of walleye fishing any day.
Another fish on. This one actually feels really good.
You see that pole just freaking. You see the pole? I mean, it's bent over pretty good. These fish fight. I mean, look at that. You know, I'm putting pretty good force on him. Not letting me take him anywhere, but there we go. I mean, hooked him in the side of the face. Now, if we were in a professional walleye tournament, actually, see if I did get a hook in the mouth. Nope. See, if we were in a professional walleye tournament, there's no hook in the mouth. Okay? So what that means, he came up to it, saw the bait swimming through the water, and he side-swiped it. He T-boned it, and he hooked it himself. In a professional walleye tournament or something like that, it wouldn't count if you were trolling, because they technically have to have a hook in the mouth. You know, you can't snag a fish. And I mean, we're using crankbaits, so I mean, you can reel it in real quick and potentially snag one. That's just a little trivia. Probably no one will ever need to know, but just kind of an interesting fact. But the thing I like about these crankbaits, you've got 6 hooks. I had a hook back here, I've got 2 up here, and now I just slammed it into my knee. But it's kind of painful when you do that, but now I'll show you. You may ask, well, here's my arsenal of crankbaits. Yeah, I've got a full tackle box full of crankbaits. Now when you're looking at a Cabela's or a Gander Mountain, you're like, holy cow, which crankbait do I use? Because I mean, there's thousands of different crankbaits. And you're like, well, how do you guys know what one you're using? Well, if you come up here once, Donnie, I'll show you. I don't know how well you can see it. Go pages, full map. Oop, actually pages. I'm gonna go to just straight up sonar. Okay, I'm gonna show you the full sonar map. Okay, this is the bottom of the lake. Right here is 10 feet. Goes up 9, 8, right about 8. That's about 8 feet deep. Right there, that blue, that's weeds. And all those little scraggly things, those are weeds coming up too. And you can see all the junk up there, that's floating weeds. So you can see about 5 feet here, about a foot down is 6 foot. So you're gonna be right over top those weeds. So what I'm using is a DT6. And that's how I determine which one to use. Right here I've got DT4s. They say on the bill how far down they deep. See DT4, so it dives down 4 feet. So if that weed edge came up to 4 feet, that's what we'd be using. I mean, I have them all the way down to DT16s, DT14s, any one you want. And that's how you decide. It's how deep you are and where the weed edge is what one you're using. So right now, basically, this is the exact bait I'm using. It's a Kevin Van Dam, made lure. And the size of the bill actually can help you determine how deep it will dive. I'll show you here. Here's a DT4. See how small that bill is? I'll actually show you this one. It's a DT14. Exact same color, everything. See how much bigger that bill is? What happens is when you're cranking it through the water, the bigger bill allows it to dive deeper. And that's how you get the depth. And when they're going through the water, you just get a little wiggle from them and the fish hit a reaction bite. So now when you're walking through Cabela's or Gander Mountain and you don't know which ones to buy because there's 1,000 on the aisle, you can just say, well, how deep is the lake I'm fishing? Is it usually 10 feet, 6 feet, whatever, and get a couple of that size. So I've got a couple for every size, because after this we might go out smalley fishing on some of the reefs, and then we'll be in about 10 feet of water. So what we're gonna need to use is, here's my whole row of DT10s. I'm just gonna pick up, whatever colors I want and use DT10s. And you're like, hey, what colors? Well, the crawdad, that orange color is gonna be more for your fall, and then you've got your your blues, those are good for smallies, purples, oranges, greens, any kind. I mean, you just want a variety of different colors, try them out and see what the fish like that day. I mean, this one's a bluegill. This one's a you know, it's colored as a bluegill. Now that's, you know, when you catch a lot of bass and they're spitting a bluegill or whatever, you know, that's what they're eating. That's what maybe we'll throw out. A popular color for bass is fire tiger. I mean, that's a very, very popular crankbait color. And then we even have one right here, it's perch. You know, Winnebago's just filled with little perch. You know, so we're throwing, you know, and he dives about 5 feet and throwing it right up in the shallows, and hopefully gonna catch some walleyes with it, but haven't got any yet. So that's a little short segment on crankbaits, which ones to use, how to use them, and that's about all you'll need to know, really. You know, just get on the water and start trying. So